James' Wife is the movie I'm reviewing today, and this movie is produced by Master Shot Production and directed by Uche Kenny Donald. This movie has three main characters: Jide, played by Zida the Great, Teresa, being played by Sonia Uche, and James, being played by Elochukwu Godwin. Recap of this movie is James, who is a very successful young man, the mother who is pressuring him to get married as soon as possible to produce grandchildren for her. The mother appeared to the city with a young lady named Teresa, who she claimed they have performed marital rites on behalf of James in the village. So it means James is married traditionally to Teresa. Teresa began to do her wife duties in the house, try to seduce James, try whatever means she could do just to make sure that James comes around. James was not interested in Teresa whatsoever at all, so he had to introduce his fiancée to Teresa and the mom. The mom now left the city, leaving Teresa behind to perform the wife duties. Teresa suffered in the hands of James because obviously James was not interested in Teresa. All of this, Teresa finds solace in the gate man called Jide. So Teresa always complains to Jide about how James treats her in the house, and she does not find it funny, and she wants to go back to the village. If only James would give her transport or whatever means, she would try her possible ways to go back to the village. Jide, on the other hand, advised her that she is the legal wife, and she continued to persuade James, but James was not bent at all. In all of this, James' fiancé was also giving wahala to James in regards to when Teresa is going to leave the house, when she is going to be the official wife. In a nutshell, James got fed up with the excesses of Teresa. He drove her out of his house. Jide, on the other hand, could not afford to see Teresa being maltreated by his boss, so he sneaked Teresa into his room at night. Whilst James was looking for Teresa, because he got a call from his mother that Teresa was not in the village. So he became very worried, started looking for Teresa. So whilst everybody was getting worried, Jide realized that this is getting out of hand. So he later confessed that Teresa was with him all this while, protecting her all this while. Teresa and Jide were kind of bonded. So at the end, Teresa and Jide kind of fall in love, and Sandra and James also continued their love story. So that's basically what this movie called James' Wife is all about. Hope this recap kind of help you get the idea of what this movie is all about. Now, moving on to what I like about this movie. First of all, let me say the storyline and the message is clear. I think we've seen a similar story like this on Uche Nancy's channel before, and this twist is different because normally the village girl always win over the city girl because she is well behaved, she knows how to cook, she knows how to do this. But in case of this story, James stick to Sandra, the city girl, and Teresa, who is a village girl, found new love in the gate mother's Jide. So it's not as if the city girl lost totally. She also found love at the end of the day. So that was a different twist in this movie, which when you watch, you really enjoy and appreciate it, because it's not the normal routine where we know that the guy is definitely going to marry the maid. So this was a different twist to it, and I also appreciate that twist as well. Talking about the cast and acting and directing, I think everyone brought their A game, or it was not the extraordinary acting from any of them, because this was a one location movie. Nothing spectacular was really expected of any of them to bring on board. So I think outstanding performance, I'll definitely give it to Sonia Uche because her role was kind of extra. She was supposed to put in effort in seducing James, and she brought that in. There was comedy in there. The comedy aspect was, brought by her as well. So another character that brought the A game on was James, in the way he was projecting his emotions, anger, everything was on point, I think. Aside that, every other character in this movie, I mean, there were only 5 characters anyway, so every other character was okay. Acting, directing was okay in this movie. Costume was okay regarding Jide and James, and then Teresa herself. I mean, yeah, the costume were pretty much okay. Location and cinematography was also okay because this movie was shot in one house. There were no too much locations. Actually, one location. So, and we have seen this location in numerous YouTube movies. So I think it's a basic YouTube quick movie. Very interesting, not to say the least. So I think that is pretty much it. What I don't like about this movie is, I'll start with the scene where James drew Teresa out. You don't expect her magically to appear in the village. I don't know why he was shocked that she was not in the village. I mean, she told you she was not, she doesn't know anywhere. She doesn't have money to go to the village. So how do you expect her to go to the village? It was that particular scenes were not linking up. And another character that I didn't enjoy was Sandra. I mean, she's a good actress. I've seen a couple of her movies. She was really good. But this movie, I wasn't really enjoying her character or her acting at all. I even enjoy James' mother acting more than her. And one last thing I don't like about this movie is how some of the scenes were repeated. When I mean scenes, I mean the way Teresa was constantly complaining to Jide. We had about 4 or 5 scenes of the same tales from Teresa to Jide. So talking about the same thing, like about 4 or 5 scenes, or even 6, just complain about James' character towards her. So those are the scenes that kind of prolong the movie. If you remove about 2 or 3 scenes out of that, I think this movie would have lasted like 1 hour 30 minutes or 1 hour 20 minutes to say the least. So yeah, I think those are the few things I don't like about this movie. On that note, a quick one, you enjoy it, and also is family friendly. You can watch it with kids. There's no romance in this movie at all. So how do I rate this movie? I think I'll rate this movie a 5/10. In regards to YouTube movies, quick one, the twist and also the comedy aspect coming from Sonia Uche, that was a very good twist in there as well. So if you have movie recommendations, please leave them in the comment section. I review movies based on how I see and enjoy them, and based on how people around me enjoy the movie. Also, I talk about life issues, relationships, and as well life stories being shared on social media. I'll see you guys in the next movie review.